So Rainn starts his book by writing this. Let me be blunt with you, dear reader. I know what you might be asking right now. Why the hell is the actor who played Dwight on The Office writing a book about spirituality? Okay, why?
We'll jump right in. The most important question of the many questions. The book talks about death and God and the meaning of life, but this is probably the most important question. Why is Dwight writing a book on spirituality? And there's a number of different reasons. I will break it down into 3 reasons. We don't have a lot of time, so I'm going to kind of do bullet point versions of those 3 reasons. One is I grew up a member of the Baha'i faith. And for those who don't know, the Baha'i faith is very inclusive and universalist of all spiritual beliefs. So I grew up in a family that read the Buddha at the dinner table. And when born-again Christians would knock on the door on Sunday, we'd invite them in and cook them pancakes and talk about the book of Revelation with them. And we had books on our shelf of Sikh authors and Sufi authors and the Bhagavad Gita. And so I grew up in this milieu of singing spiritual songs and gathering with diverse communities and being open to all of these different kinds of spiritual ideas. Mm-hmm. So this is just part of my DNA. And I've always had a kind of nascent spiritual curiosity. I think from that background, I tell people that people don't know this, but I have a secret inner Oprah.
So do I.
And as do you.
Yes, I do.
You. And that's part 1. Part 2 is I left my faith, like many of folks do in my 20s, in a big way, in a hard way, when I moved to New York City to study acting and to be an actor. And basically, I didn't want anything to do with religion, with spirituality, with morality, with God, with higher concepts. I just wanted to live in New York, go to acting school, party, have a great time, learn how to act, and experience being kind of a bohemian in the big city at age 20. I moved there in the late 80s at age 20. And that was great, and that worked out well. And then I went through kind of in my mid-20s what I realize now, because we have the vocabulary for it, was a kind of a mental health crisis. In the 90s, some of us can remember the 90s. In the 90s, we didn't really have words for mental health crises, right? So I would have these crippling anxiety attacks, and I went into the school doctor, and I thought I was having a heart attack, and I would, I would fall on the floor, like shaking and sweating and hyperventilating, and severe bouts of depression. I dealt with addiction issues all throughout my 20s, and loneliness and alienation, and just kind of a really kind of inner discontent, where and it was very perturbing to me, because at the same time I was a professional actor. Yeah. I wasn't getting paid anything. And but I was doing theater in New York, working with some great directors. Like I had an agent. This was beyond my wildest dreams for a suburban Seattle boy whose dad was a sewer man to be living in Brooklyn and being an actor and like getting a paycheck. And I thought, well, I'm supposed to be happy because I'm living my dream. Why am I so unhappy? Why do I wake up every 3 a.m. kind of like wondering about the meaning of life and twisting my hair out? And so I didn't have money to go to therapy, so I went the only direction that I thought possible to heal this, which was to explore spiritual ideas. Yeah. Because I thought, well, maybe by jettisoning everything and anything to do with religion, maybe I have discarded tools that might be helpful for me in my own kind of mental health, well-being, and happiness journey.
Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. Follow today's top stories and breaking news by downloading the NBC News app.